Hey fish friends, it's Steve's Fish Room again. This is the third tank that I'm videotaping here in my fish room. I'm going to do each of my tanks just to entertain myself and share some information with others during the pandemic. This is my native tank, and been a ton of fun to get into. These guys are mostly orange-throated darters. There are 8 or 9 in the tank, and then one sculpin right there in the center, front, and the bottom. They're actually a distant relative of stonefish. They're just really cool. He'd gulp down anything that'll fit in his mouth. Somebody asked me what my most expensive fish was, and I said the one that I caught for free, in a local stream, because he only eats frozen foods. But he's cool. He's got a lot of personality. He acts like he's always lived in an aquarium. He just pretty much hangs out ready to eat, just to gulp down whatever I put in. My daughter and I actually went back to the stream where we collected these guys, and these orange-throated darters, we caught a bunch more and just took pictures and released them. They had so much more color, and they're breeding colors for the spring, and that makes me think I need to either put these guys in a tub pond or do some kind of a chiller, like do a DIY in a refrigerator or something. But I'm a little concerned about adding more electricity, so I think a tub pond is probably in the future. But anyway, this tank just has the sponge filter, like the double sponge, like all of the other tanks, or almost all the other tanks in my fish room. But I also added a power head to give these guys some current. And you can see they just love gulping down. These are some thawed bloodworms. But I wanted to give them some more flow. And so they just have some rocks, just like you'd find in the creek where we caught them. I use a perfect dip net from Jonah's aquarium. That's a great online resource for native fish, and the net's just fantastic. And actually we caught a lot of these just with aquarium nets, because the water where we got these guys is mostly about 6 inches deep. I mean, it goes in the little section of creek, it goes to maybe a few feet. But we got these guys, they were little, they've grown quite a lot. They were really easy to catch. My 9-year-old caught about half of them in the fall. We've just really enjoyed having them, learning about natives. I joined the North American Native Fish Association, NAMFA, and they give you a nice journal. They have an annual get-together as well. It's unfortunately canceled this year. But it's another just fantastic resource. And you really do want to do your homework if you're collecting natives. You want to find out what's legal in your state. In Missouri, there are a few endangered fish. So I just do some internet research and find out what's in the stream. And I can also go to the Missouri Department of Conservation, just email them, and they're fantastic about getting back to me and, just letting me know if there are any endangered fish in the creek. I want to make sure I'm not collecting those. Just leave them in the wild. And I think actually in the future, I'm just going to, just like my daughter and I have done since we got these guys, we just catch them in a net, put them in a plastic container that I can take good pictures through and just take cell phone pictures. And then I can use those later. I've got some books I work on identification. I also run them by the NAMFA Facebook group. And then if there's disagreement, if I don't think it's that fish or people are disagreeing on Facebook, I'll just send a picture to Missouri Department of Conservation, and they've got some ichthyologists there that can just identify these guys like nothing else. So, in Missouri, you just have to have a valid fishing license, and you can collect, I think it's 40 fish, but wherever you're at, you want to do your own homework. As you can see, this tank really isn't scaped, per se. I have a pot in there of some hygrophila that just needed another home for a little while. I was rescaping a tank, and there's a piece of driftwood on the left with a lot of java moss on it. Again, just out of a tank I was rescaping. These guys really don't come from areas where there are any plants in the water. You can see a ton of guppy grass there. It grows great in the lower temperatures. Anyway, thanks so much for watching.